I went to this year's NRA annual convention. For those that don't want to go, I went so you don't have to. For those that couldn't go, I went in your place. You're going to see all the footage that I recorded from the annual NRA convention. We're going to see some of the latest tech right now in the gun industry. And at the end of the video, you got to stay tuned for the end because I'm going to tell you who unequivocally was the winner of this year's annual NRA convention and what gun takes the top spot. You're not going to want to miss it. It's coming up right after the intro. So we go into the Georgia Convention Hall, which is one of the largest, nicest ones I've ever been into. Immediately, we're met with like this early raffle. This is my first time at the NRA convention, and then we go down the escalator, and there are 14 acres of the best innovators in the entirety of the industry. I mean, this is a phenomenal event. So I make a beeline to Palmetto State because they are, in my opinion, the top innovators right now. Now they've got on their wall some of their latest rifles that they came out with, not only their Saber line, but their Super SAS and 308, which you're looking at. This is their 12 and a half inch 308. And then I went to look at some of their pistols. They've got their Saber line of pistols, which is like their Gucci Glock builds, kind of right out of the box. And I really liked it. I thought that it was an improvement on Glock in all the right areas. A great gun. One of the things that I'd been looking at, but I had never put my hands on, was a PSA Rock 5.7, obviously chambered in 5.7. I really, really liked it. Comes in at a great price. I want to say around $399 for the non-optics cut, non-threaded barrel, and then maybe like $499 for the optics cut and the threaded barrel. And then these are the innovation parts. So they're coming out with a 2011 line. This is their Saber 11, and I was really impressed by it. This is probably somewhere right around the middle of the 2011 market. Really great trigger, really great light, crisp trigger. If I had to guess, I'd probably say it's right around 2.5 to 3 pounds, somewhere around there, maybe 3-4 pounds. Felt really good in hand, obviously still with polymer grips. It's optics cut, that's a Hollow Sub 507 comp on it, full dust cover. Then we go to the X57, which I'm super excited about because this is kind of a PDW chambered in 5.7. We all know it, it's fantastic. I go over to the Staccato booth. I only want to see two things, the Staccato XL and the Staccato XC. And they did not disappoint. For me, if I'm getting a Staccato, those are just two I'm getting. I know the HG4 is popular right now, but whatever. I want the full Staccato experience, right? I was not disappointed. This is about as close to perfection as I saw today. Now, there were some perfect guns, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Trigger on that thing is silly. I literally audibly laughed when I pulled that trigger. I broke it that time on accident, just trying to prep it. It's that light. Slide is nuts. I go over to the Glock booth. Not a whole lot I wanted to see there, just to be honest with you. I know Glock is tried and true, but it's not really what you want to see at these events. Hit the Hollow Sun booth. Next went over to the Smith & Wesson booth. And I was only interested in one gun, and that is the Smith & Wesson Spec V series. That's a brand new all steel pistol they came out with. Phenomenal gun. I was not blown away, I'll say that. The trigger was really solid, sprung probably a little heavier than it needed to be. Obviously, this is a competition weapon. It's got that set screw compensator at the end. All in all, I thought it was a really good gun. I give it a 7 out of 10. Went over to the CZ booth. At the CZ booth, now I carry a CZ for competition. I wanted to look at their 6-inch target, which is right there. Now I held all these in my hand, but I only got video of a little bit. Then their TSO, those didn't disappoint. If you know about them, you know. There were, again, 14 acres. So there are a ton of manufacturers that I'm just skipping over. The Beretta booth had a beautiful, huge display. I just wasn't particularly interested in seeing anything in any of their new innovation right now. Cadex surprised me. Cadex is a precision rifle brand that has a lot of chassis as well as actual just rifle guns, long rifle guns, chambered in all kind of chamberings, but also a lot of different color variants, which was super dope. After that, I went over to the Alpha Foxtrot, the 2011 booth, and I wanted to look at their Romulus because I know that's one of the ones that has come out that's gotten a lot of buzz. I wanted to put it in my hand. Again, I would say kind of middle of that 2011 market. And maybe this was just one they beat up a little bit. I had some questions about the coating on it, but outside of that, solid trigger, good take up. I'm not too enthusiastic, but it's solid. Went over to the HK booth. I really only wanted to see the SP5 series. They've got a lot of offerings there, and of course, it's just HK, so they're phenomenal. This is where it gets crazy. Hux Works. Hux Works had pretty much the entire John Wick Terran Tactical Innovation line. So obviously we're looking at this rifle here, but we got the Pit Viper, which was silly. We've got a couple of Combat Masters, which were nuts. And then we have what absolutely stole the entirety of the show, and that is the Terran Tactical Innovation Sand Viper. I was audibly blown away by the weight is perfect. You see how small that grip safety is? Just everything on that gun is firearm perfection. Comes in at a ticket price of about $8,000. And I was one of those people who's like, I would never buy a gun that expensive, even though maybe I possibly could, financially, whatever. I just would never do it. It just is insane. Oh my God. After having held it in my hand, I get it. That's all I'll say. It is firearms perfection, bar none. Trigger's crazy, slide is crazy. It's absolute glass, melted butter, all the superlatives. I will say this, best showing at the entirety of the NRA convention was SIG. SIG came in heavy with this ginormous, like larger than life booth. I feel like they had like half the SIG team out there. They also had this Ace VR setup, which was super dope. So dope, I actually ended up getting the headset. Here we're looking at the new 1911s, and this is straight from the channel an update. SIG is coming out with a double stack 1911 soon, within the next few months. Not only that, but they're coming out with like 46 different offerings within the next several months. You heard that here, possibly first. SIG Sauer is coming out with a double stack 1911, guys. And so I'm so excited about that. I was so jazzed. I had to take a picture with their hammer-fired marketing manager. There's me looking like a dork because of how excited I am. All right, I'm back in studio. Don't swipe away, because I told you I would tell you who top spot was at this year's NRA convention. Again, I'm gonna give you just a little bit of background, so don't leave yet. Don't get impatient. Your TikTok brain, I understand. I will say this, I'm not a big 2011 guy. Obviously, a lot of the guns I'm looking at are 2011 because that's just kind of the new innovation industry-wide. That's what a lot of brands are putting their money into right now. Also, there's some rifle stuff and all of that. We looked at some of those. What I'm basing the best of NRA convention off of is what is the best innovation, right? Because Terran Tactical Sand Viper is the best gun I've ever put my hands on in my entire life. It is the pinnacle of firearms perfection, rifle, precision rifle shooting, pistol, it doesn't matter. It is a pinnacle of perfection, right? However, not everybody would even spend $8,000 on a gun if they had $8,000 to spend. So I'm looking at what is as close to that pinnacle of perfection, but is still accessible to the common man. And here we go with our top spot at NRA convention. What was the absolute best thing that I saw, that I held, that was available to the common man? And that is none other than the Kimber 2K11. I put this thing in my hand. My local gun shop has the one that's black, that's not optics ready. And so holding the optics ready version in my hand, that coating is absolutely silly. Like, it is genuinely goofy. Super light spring, close to the Sand Viper. I can tell you, there is not $6,000 of difference between this 2K11 and the Sand Viper. They are incredibly close. So if you are someone who likes 2011s, who loves the platform, again, I'm not one of those guys, genuinely, just because of my grip and my hands, it just doesn't work for me. But if you're someone who loves innovation, who loves excellence in machining, who is looking for the best quality you can get, the Kimber 2K11 blows the others out of the water until you get to that category where we're talking about Sand Vipers or Erebuses. Like, till we get into that Staccato XC 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 category, you can get a Kimber 2K11, I believe they're called the Target. Kimber 2K11 with that beautiful, almost bronze copper coating. Right now for, I believe, around like $2,300, $2,300, $2,500, sometimes a little bit less. And that price may include the Trijicon SRO. I know the all black one at my local gun store was about 1,900 flat. So we're talking about $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 difference between that quality, and it way outshoots its weight class. So I was blown away by that because I had felt it, had maneuvered it, had run it through kind of just what I could there. Obviously I didn't shoot it, but ran it through what I could there. And there was a difference. Don't get me wrong. There was a difference between the Sand Viper and that gun, but it was not a $6,000 difference. It was maybe like $1,000 difference. And so I'm looking at this gun and I'm blown away by how that gun performed. It was better than the Saber 11, and I love PSA. It was better than the Romulus for sure. It was better than any other 2011 or pistol that I put my hands on. It was better than the CZ Target. It was better than the CZ TSO. Love those guns. Those are all like top guns in the industry. If we're talking best value, CZ TSO all day for me, because that's just my personal take. I'm a CZ guy. I got a CZ right back here that I use in competition. So I'm a CZ guy. But especially with 2011s being all the rage right now, I'm going to give top spot to Kimber. Well done. Very excellent firearm that you got there. And man, I'm excited to see what innovations this market continues to pump out right now. We're almost like in the golden age of innovation when it comes to the firearms industry. So I'm excited, man. I'm happy to be here right now. If you've liked this video, like and subscribe. And also you can visit the channel ps144.com to get yourself some merch. PS144, I'm Chris Searcy. We out, man.